And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, and just like that, your weekend is over. The fun and all is over, and back to work we go. We're starting out this morning at 43. It's going to be drastically changing. 75 for a high today is what we're looking at. Now, let's discuss all of this. There's a lot to discuss with weather. And as I mentioned earlier and several times in my reports over the weekend about what is coming, I want this taken very seriously about the weather tomorrow. It's a very critical point of where tornadic activity is most likely going to happen. We'll look at the map here in just a moment. Some areas of Lauderdale County are included in this level 4. Doesn't mean that a level 3 cannot be a part of a tornado. We're going to show all of that. It just shows that level 4 is where they begin and can travel elsewhere. We'll look at these imaginary lines on the map here in just a second to get you going. I hope your morning is well so far. You feel good and, well, it's going to be a bright, sunshiny day, as I said. First, let's look at this before we get into going deep into all the news and things that happened over the weekend here. Let's pull up radar where you can take a quick look of what we've got this morning. This is radar. All of this green area that we see is aerial flood watch. Most likely it's going to be some flooding that takes place. We've got wind advisories from Lafayette to Lake Charles, Beaumont, up around Shreveport, and all the way over to Dallas today. That's in effect today. That's going to be until 1 a.m. as it blows through today, and it brings all this severe weather towards us. Now, what's going to happen today with severe weather? Let's look at this. This is the forecasted today. It's going to stay to our west. Anywhere from Shreveport to Tyler, out to Waco, Texas, Klein, Texas, down to Austin and these areas, taken in Houston and Beaumont, just to the west of the downtown area, will be a level 3 as we look at that. Now, you give it 24 more hours, and this is what is coming into our area. And let's look at this outlook for tomorrow. And this is what we've got. This has not changed in the last 24 hours at all. A very serious matter as we look at this. All of this red area from Baton Rouge, parts of Louisiana, taking in Hattiesburg, cutting across Jasper, as we look at Smith County and these areas of Scott and Newton County, and portions of Clark and Lauderdale County are under a level 4. Now, this shaded area here is a 3. It doesn't mean that tornadoes can't happen there. And as you go northward, it could still happen into the Delta as you get further north and down to a 1 at the top of the state. It just means that this area here, and all I've read and studied this weekend, is most likely at this point, and this forecast can change, we're looking at tornado activity, the heaviest right along here on that I-20 line. All of this area where this red is a level 4. Now, as you see, this is parts of Lauderdale County, a good portion of Newton County, and this Enterprise, Pachuta area. Let's turn on location so you'll know. And again, remember, these can change over the next 24 hours of what we're looking at. We'll get a jump on this, and we're going to come back and look at it again in a moment as we get deeper into weather. But as we look here, this is Pachuta. As you follow this line, right there is going to be Long's Fish Camp, a few hundred yards from there up the road. All of Enterprise, where the Dollar Tree is, where the high school is, and it comes into Lauderdale County, right up to Plant Sweat, and it'll go northwest from there out by the jail, out to just about right there where Rock Hill Church is, and then goes into Newton County. All this southern portion here, south of I-20, of what we've been paying close attention to, could be the severe line. It goes just over this and cuts across the county all the way up here to Conahatta. Now, again, we can't say that tornadoes won't happen here also. That's a level 3. This is a 4. All of it's bad. This is just a little worse, as we see that most of Scott County under that, and you go on back into Jackson. That's where we are on looking at where the tornadic activity could be tomorrow. We'll watch this closely and be on this. This is a very serious storm. When I ask to have a weather plan, a lot of people go, oh my gosh, not that again, weather plans. It is your life. It is not only does, and let me word it this way, if you don't care about yourself, think about the others that depend upon you. There's a lot of people that you get up, you go to work, your paycheck takes care of things around the house, whether they live with you or not. Maybe it's an elderly parent that depends upon you. So you got to take care of yourself because so many people do depend upon you. You would be shocked as to how many lives that, well, you influence and take care of. So you got to be around. the thing of when you get to tornado shelters. I know it's corny. I've said it before about the helmets. But most people die in tornadoes from being slammed into something with head injuries. Get a football, bike helmet. Keep it handy for everybody in the family when these strike and these warnings come. Put one of those on. It's not going to hurt to look kind of corny for just a little while. It's okay. Wear hard-soled shoes. If your home was to be destroyed, to where nails don't go through your feet. Tennis shoes and these light shoes, they're easy to get stuck. And if a tornado, if you've ever been around one, it is nothing but rubble afterwards if you make it through it. You don't want to be hurt. So make sure to take those extra precautions. Do not stay in a mobile home tomorrow. If a tornado warning is issued, and that's when I say have these plans, know where you're going to go tomorrow. Don't stay in a home, a mobile home, or a home that's uplifted to where that wind can get up underneath it. Have a plan to go somewhere, a shelter, if at all possible. Stay away from windows. Don't go near those. And for heaven's sake, if you've got trees that overhang your home, don't stay in those rooms. Call my friend Mike Reed. Mike Reed will have those removed, and you won't ever have to worry about that again. But we see a lot of deaths also from these pine trees snapping, oak trees coming up by the roots that are, well, they provide shade. I get that. But we don't want you to perish in one of these storms from one of these. Now, we're early into this, and there's a lot to come and a lot that we will watch. So we'll be back with more weather here in just a moment. Let's get into a few things that happened over the weekend that has gone on in our area. Let's see here. Let's start out with the murder charges in Newton that were announced on Friday. They've upgraded this. The people that were detained that were suspects have now been charged. I'm talking Austin Harrell, Shauna Reynolds. As that report came out from Newton County, and it only took 2 weeks, an arrest was made within a week, and then charges filed within 2 weeks. That's pretty good timing. There was a lot of people behind the scenes that made this happen, that worked hard to get the clues and track down. As we learned from this, also one of the victims was killed in Neshoba County, as we saw the press release come in from Eric Clark. And then the body was transported over to Newton County. And then, as inhumane as this sounds, both bodies were dumped on the side of the road. Awful for anybody to go that way. Well, there's 2 arrested, and we'll follow this story as it goes forward. And again, you're always innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, but they have pretty strong evidence here that has come to this arrest. And again, we'll follow this from Neshoba to Newton, the Mississippi Band of Choctaw Indians, the MBI, and the FBI. A big effort there on everybody's part, and the evidence that led to these arrests. Pretty strong there. We're glad for that. Also, the Neshoba County Sheriff's Office. And if you haven't been to visited my webpage yet, do so. Let me pull this up here. This is what it is. SAM Media Network. That's SAMmedia.network. Pretty easy to find there, and you'll find this ledger here. And what is that? Well, the Neshoba County Sheriff's Department released this photo. They arrested a drug dealer, a known drug dealer, and he has happened to have his ledger of who owes him and who buys from him. He's got the name. I talked to him last night. They've made 4 arrests since that notebook come out. If you do drugs in Neshoba County, they want your name. They're coming to visit. I even noticed that someone told the sheriff what a fool he was. Well, they didn't word it exactly that way. But have you read the comments? Nothing like telling the sheriff that he's not smart. That just really adds your name to that list. Boy. Made me chuckle. But that did happen yesterday afternoon, just a little bit before 6 o'clock, about 10 minutes to 6. A few minutes, about an hour later, I got a call from over in Union. And yet again, our boys in blue have been busy. A safety checkpoint in Union, Mississippi led to the arrest of guns and marijuana. As you'll look at that, AK-style rifle along with a pistol and 46 grams of marijuana was confiscated in this traffic stop. They did make an arrest. Jamario Robertson was arrested for this. He's been taken downtown. He'll face a judge over all of this, that was in his car. We also learned that sad news over the weekend. One of the Meridian Nights that has been around just seems like forever. Started a daycare in 1960, and I think it was 1987 that she went on to become a councilwoman in Meridian. Well-spoken. I heard her name for many years when I was in radio. And I'm talking Miss Barbara Henson. She passed away at the age of 87. We pay our respects to her and her family. She'd done so much for this town. She passed away right around 7:30 on Friday afternoon. So condolences to her family. And again, did so much for the area of Meridian. Do you remember the child? And we'll talk more about this morning. And I brought this up on Saturday morning's broadcast. The little girl that was found wandering down a road in South Mississippi. They have made an arrest. And again, I'll follow this as more of this comes out. Bless her heart, she was 3 years old. She was found in the field on the side of the road with only a T-shirt, no diaper, no food, no nothing. Her father's been arrested. He was 49. More or less, as I read more into this, he left her at 5 o'clock in the morning and drove off. She was found at around 9 o'clock wondering, how could you do this to a child? He'll face a judge and jury. He's got several charges that's been put on him. Felony child neglect is one of those. She's in protective services now, the Child Protective Services, and they're investigating the rest of the family members to make sure it's okay to return her to that family. It's concerning. A child is never asked to be brought into this world at all. Y'all know that. They need guidance from people that will take care of them. We hope that this person will stand trial for what he's done. That is awful. There is no excuse for that, and I think most of us agree with that. That'll make a tear come to a glass eye, as we all know. A wreck happened yesterday afternoon as we go back to the webpage to take a look at this morning. This was Highway 39. This is a busy intersection. This is Harry Mayer's right here that you can't see in the picture. This is the Walmart across the street there, the Neighborhood Watch, as this quickly become a mess at the scene of a wreck yesterday. As we look at these pictures here, Metro was on the scene, and that's the truck that was involved. It was things thrown everywhere as we keep going through these pictures of what happened yesterday. As we get closer on this, as you see, there's a pile of rubble there. As we get a little bit closer, that's the car that was damaged. Apparently somebody ran through the stop sign in some shape, form, or way. But that truck had a bunch of stuff in it, didn't it? That took a little bit of a cleanup. So and that's a closer look of what everything looked like. Good reason to keep your truck bed clean there. You'll lose all your stuff in an accident there. I think everybody was okay. It was a lot of folks that were shook up. Kathy Sharp, how are you this morning? Glad to see you. Glad you're watching there. Terry Carter, glad to see you there. Kathy Spence, a whole bunch of y'all watching this morning. As we look around, and there's a lot more stories, and we'll get into some deeper stories coming up this morning with the morning show. Be back here at 8 o'clock. We've got Candace coming in. She's getting the makeup and hair already right now. We'll tell you about that. Next, I'm going to tell you about an entire shift of a police department in the state of Mississippi that, well, they all called in sick at the same time. Was it coincidence? I say no. All of that's next and coming up here in just a moment. Stay close.
I'm Michael Swansea. I'm an Alpha insurance agent. 9 out of 10 people don't understand what insurance actually is. I want to fix that. I want to take the opportunity to sit down with you and your family and really go over your insurance and make sure that y'all are protected. I don't want y'all going to bed at night wondering, during the next emergency, during the next claim, am I going to be covered? Give me a chance to sit down with you and your family and fix that and make a difference.
Since 1985, Miss Rodney's Muffler Shop has been taking care of you. As a matter of fact, they're ranked as the #1 muffler dealer in the South Central Mississippi area. Still located on 8th Street, where you can conveniently drop in. Well, they offer you all the Flowmaster and dual pipes that you'll need, any custom bending for your vehicle. They offer mufflers, muffler deletes, and even factory stock mufflers. They can even install a converter for you. 482-8211. 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, and they're open until noon on Saturday.
And welcome back if you're just tuning in. I'm Scotty Ray, as we'll continue to give you some weather forecast here in a moment as we'll wait for this storm that approaches tomorrow. We're all safe today, and we want to make absolutely sure every one of us are here after the storm with all our belongings as well. We pray for that. As I mentioned just a moment ago, and it almost sounds too much like the Meridian area, but a town in Mississippi, well, got into an argument with the police chief to where some of the officers didn't agree with the police chief. Columbus, Mississippi. This goes back to a few weeks ago, but the entire shift called in sick. It's apparent they don't get along with the chief anymore, the direction of the police department. But 5 of the officers that were supposed to be on shift in Columbus called in sick. The shifts were covered by overtime for other officers that went in. But issues going on in Columbus, Mississippi. We'll watch that if any more news comes out of this. The Commercial Dispatch reported on this not long ago. Interesting. They've had issues going on since 2015, and, well, they don't seem to be getting any better. The walkout was on March 11th there. There was a on the interstate yesterday also. I don't know if y'all encountered this, but if you were on I-20 out by Toomsuba, as we look at this, there was an incident there where somebody wrecked yesterday afternoon and held up traffic for quite some time. It was pulling, and you've seen this happen, pulling a trailer, and they get to weaving, and the next thing you know, it takes over, and it flipped the vehicle that was pulling it. I think all were okay, but they definitely had a bad Sunday afternoon. Be careful with that. Never get too fast pulling a trailer. There's a lot of folks that never pull one that when it happens, just don't know what to expect. Another thing that went on yesterday afternoon was, well, I-20 in Meridian was blocked for a little while. Did y'all see that? This happened. And let's go back to our webpage there at Sam Media. And this is the scene. And let's pull this up. And as you can see, the black smoke coming over the bridge there. This is right around exit 152. This was a black Ford F-150. The engine compartment caught fire, and the next thing you know, the entire truck burned to the ground. Look at that. Just barely enough time to get out of your vehicle. This stuff like this does happen. Nothing left of that. Fire department put that out. Traffic was slowed there for quite a while. But that was the scene there on I-20. If you were coming along going, well, what was that all about? That's what went on yesterday as we looked at all of that. As also the headline from yesterday, well, another shooting in Meridian, Mississippi. Have you all heard about this? A man called 911 and said, I've been shot. He described where he was, and, well, he wanted to make sure he wasn't getting shot at anymore, and made his way to the edge of a porch and waited for police to arrive. Medics arrived. He was shot in the hip. As we go back to the webpage here, here's a scene of where the cops were yesterday afternoon as we pulled this up. This was on Martin Luther King Drive, is where this was, the 600 block there. As he's going to be all right, but getting shot in the hip is still not good. A lot of police presence. He was taken on to the hospital there. As we look at that, boy. And getting to be a scene all too well in Meridian, isn't it? It is, as we continue to look at what went on there. As we pull this up, the police were out marking what went on. I got several pictures of that, and I do appreciate everybody sending those in. When you run up on things like this, we can share this so others know what are happening in our town and, well, around us. Whether you're in Meridian, if you're in Philadelphia, wherever it is that you might live, if you run up on stuff, share it so we can share this with other people. Now, we've heard this around the state, that our taxes, that we may not pay state income tax. That's probably going to happen. But be aware. As they all sing and dance and hold hands and jump around the aisles there in Jackson to say that, what does that really mean to you? Well, probably not so good. What they don't tell you is when they get away with that tax and do away with it, which sounds great, it means that on a local level they will push that direction, and, well, the local officials will have no choice but to raise more taxes elsewhere to make up for that money that's lost. So in the end, we will still pay, just in a different direction. Property taxes is usually one of those, and we've already gotten word that before that happened, what is it, in Lauderdale County for the new courthouse and all of that dealing, our taxes are going up a good bit. Now we do away with state income taxes, so we might be getting a higher raise than that. Let's hope not, but the odds are that will happen. I hate to even tell you that, because it's bad enough as we're all on fixed incomes with gas prices climbing, and we all do the best that we can to get by, and boy, it just keeps going higher and higher, doesn't it? Cost of living's getting high and getting worse. Natchez, Mississippi. We had another film filmed in Mississippi. This time, a horror movie has been filmed there. They've used some of the folks from the Adams County Sheriff's Department to be a part of it. It should hit theaters later this year. We're seeing several movies made in the state of Mississippi from Bruce Willis. His movie. Also, we've seen Morgan Freeman filming as well in the state, plus now this. We'll watch this as Hollywood starts filming again. I'm sure they'll get mad at Mississippi about something else and ban us again, but so far, they've been using us pretty regularly lately. So-so man has been arrested for, well, take a wild guess. Oh, yeah, drive-by shooting. It's just really the cowardly way, isn't it? Drive-by and shoot innocent people. But it doesn't only happen here. It happens statewide, national. Have you seen the story over the weekend of the car show? 40-something people injured, one dead. Small town at a car show. We'll talk about that this morning also with Scotty Ray Candace. I hope you'll come back and join us there. Let's see here. A person has been killed in Pascagoula. They were ran over. Highway 90, as y'all all know where that is. They're investigating this fatality. He was hit by several cars. They haven't released the name depending upon notification of family members. Awful there. Jones County seems to make the news a lot, don't they? Well, they do. As we go south from here, a Wayne County man has been arrested for incitement of a minor, drug possession as well. The Jones County Sheriff's Department has arrested a Waynesboro man, and this happened on Saturday night following a complaint from a parent because of a text message that had sexual nature to it. James Phillips, age 45, was arrested at Horn Lake by the Jasper County Sheriff's Department. He texted a 16-year-old male in hopes of meeting him at a lake for sexual purposes. He's been arrested. We don't need anything like that, do we? That's some news around the state this morning. We do find out on a national level that Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas has been hospitalized this morning. He's 73 with flu-like symptoms in the hospital. We hope he recovers well. We also learned that, Russia has not calmed down any. They bombed a theater. 6 are dead. Innocent people. Oh, boy. Also, we learned that overnight that a jet has crashed in China, a Boeing 737, 132 souls on board. It is not known yet the fate of these people, but it is not good. It dropped at 30,000 feet. It was cruising at 30,000 feet within 90 seconds, went off radar. It plunged. Doesn't sound good. We'll keep watching this as the story comes out. This is breaking news early this morning. We pray for all of those involved as well. More coming up. We'll go back to your weather here in just a moment, so don't go anywhere. Let's discuss more about this weather this morning and everything that's going on.
H&H Residential of Meridian is your #1 carpet and flooring store. If you've been thinking of a new look for your home or office, call for a free estimate or consultation. H&H can install or you can do it yourself. H&H has all of your design needs from color, style, and texture. If you can dream it, H&H can make it a reality. Come see the large selection of hardwood flooring, laminate, vinyl, and even carpet. H&H Residential of Meridian, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4, 321 Hawkins Crossing Road. Call Rosemary anytime, 601-462-9541.
If every time the wind blows you get a little leery about a tree over your house, talk to my friends at Reed Tree Service. There's no reason to be worried about a tree crashing through your house. Mike and Jake have years of experience of dealing with trees. It can be as simple as having a limb removed or a tree that is just huge too close to your shop or house. It's not going to cost you anything to have Mike come out and give you an estimate. They're licensed and insured, taking care of East Mississippi and West Alabama. Reed Tree Service. Have tree, will travel.
And before I forget, don't forget today, the Texas turnaround is going to be shut down. The Mississippi Department of Transportation has let us know that the entrance ramp there on 2059 will be shut down from 7 p.m. Today through, let's see here, 4/4. They're going to be doing some work there. So keep that in mind. A little bit of inconvenience for everybody to make the circle there under I-20. All right, let's get into weather, as we showed you a few moments ago. And we'll go back to radar in a minute, but let's go over the statistics and everything that we know from the National Weather Service today and discuss weather. Very important as storms approach.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Record highs and record lows. 89 degrees back in 2017. We saw 20 degrees and 65. That was chilly. Today, looks like 75 degrees around the state mostly. Hattiesburg will see 76, and over to Vicksburg, 76. A little cooler in the Delta at 74. In Mississippi State, we'll see 73. And as we go through Philadelphia and Louisville in those areas, it looks to be about 74 today. Across the state line, we go to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, 75. We'll see 75 in Livingston as well. Down toward the coast, 76 degrees. In northern Alabama, about 73. Nice weather in Mississippi and Alabama today. Here we are, and here's our timeline of what we're looking at tomorrow. Most likely, the Meridian area will start seeing the weather move in around lunchtime. Now, as we look at this, and it's a large window there, about an 8-hour period. This has been narrowed. Originally, it was saying from 10 until 8. Now it's from noon until 8 p.m. tomorrow. Now, this most likely will get a little bit closer as the storm approaches. As we look at this back from Scott County in these areas here over by the roadside park back to just about to Vicksburg will be 10 to 6. And then that west of Vicksburg to the state line into Louisiana from 6 a.m. until lunchtime. So the Delta will see a lot of rain tomorrow morning before it reaches over here. We've got a lot of rain coming. And as you'll see the different colors here, we'll go back to my radar in a moment and show you all of this. South Mississippi, this I-20 corridor is going to be the line where these tornadoes are going to be developing right here. Lauderdale County has a little bit of this. So does Clark, Jasper, and Newton County, Scott County. Now, again, a level 3 doesn't mean that a tornado cannot happen. So pay close attention. That's an imaginary line. We've got bad weather on the way. The moderate risk, this red area, look at this. Damaging winds of 70 miles an hour. We could have golf ball size hail, and tornadoes are very likely in this. Now, this enhanced area here is damaging winds up to 70. Now, the 4 is over 70. Large hail, golf ball size hail in this up here through Philadelphia, and tornadoes are possible. Some strong, as we look at the slight risk, which will be up in the northern part of the state across the Mississippi Delta. But this is a very serious matter. It doesn't get much worse than that. Let me pull back up radar and let's look at our lines as we look at this together here across this. As we pull back into radar, here's what you got. Right there, this red area. And we look at Lauderdale County. This is a 3, this is a 4. Very little difference in this. But we go from Plant Sweat over to the jail. Out here, all of this area by Stuckey's Bridge, down by Dunn's Fall, Enterprise. As we go into Clark County, Long's Fish Camp right on the line. And it follows down along Pachuta. All of Lake Edens, all the way over here with Paulding. These areas, Bay Springs is under a level 4. And as we see, the eastern side here of Clark County is under 3. But again, don't be fooled by these numbers, 3 and 4s. It's going to be bad in either place that you are. I do expect a little bit of changes on these maps in between now and tomorrow when these storms come in. I want you to be weather alert. As I said, don't take this lightly. This is a very serious storm. When they hit, most of the time you have very little time to react. So pay close attention. Follow me on YouTube or here on Facebook. We'll also go live as well on Twin States News should we get tornado warnings. We'll go live to let everyone know, and as many that can. Share. Make sure that everybody's aware of what's going on. We want every life because you are important, as I mentioned before. We don't want anything happening to you, and we want you up to date with the latest knowledge that can be given. And we'll track this stuff and let you know in relationship to where you are as to what's going on. As we continue looking at what the National Weather Service is telling us as we go back and look at this. Now, there's also flash flooding. There's going to be a lot of this. 2 to 3 inches of rain could be locally heavier tomorrow also. Make sure that if you're near a creek, your house, that you're prepared for what's coming. This is going to be Tuesday morning until Tuesday night. Winds, look at this. Sustained winds of 20 to 25, and we'll get gusts of about 40. And as we looked at that in these areas south of here, could see 70-mile-an-hour gusts down through this area here along that I-20 corridor. That's what we're watching there. As we look at this across the Alabama state line, Demopolis there, level 3, including Tuscaloosa. As we get into Clanton and Montgomery, these areas have a level 2, and then the northeastern side of Alabama will see a level 1. Looks like that timeline will be between 2 and 10 p.m. for our friends there on the side there, Livingston, Alabama, over to Tuscaloosa. So y'all be prepared in Demopolis as well. As we look at this, temperatures are normal right now. A little chillier in the mornings, but we got cooler weather on the way. As we look at these temperatures, what's going to be happening over the next 24 hours, next 7 days? We got sunshine today, high of about 75, and gust of about 20 miles an hour today. We'll get rain as we get into tomorrow morning with a 90% chance. Mainly, this will begin after 9 o'clock. We'll start seeing these rains. It's going to be heavy. Be prepared. High of 75 tomorrow. Gust of about 30 miles an hour tomorrow. We'll have sustained winds anywhere from 10 to 20. That's a mouthful, isn't it? We'll get somewhere around 2 inches of rain and an inch tomorrow night with an 80% chance of rain tomorrow night before it ends around, 11 o'clock. Right there. And then we'll get some showers there as we come toward the morning, some light stuff with only a 10% on Wednesday and then clearing off with some sunshine coming in later in the afternoon on Wednesday, making way for that. Perfect weather for the remainder of the week with highs in the 70s. Look at that. You can't beat it. Perfect weather for us after we get through tomorrow. As we look ahead until April the 4th, sounds kind of strange to even be saying April, doesn't it? But it's true. Tuesday the 29th, when we get near the end of the month, 82 degrees. Look at that. Come April Fool's Day, 77. And as we look on down the 4th, it looks like we'll have in the 70s there. Not bad at all. As we look at the best times to fish from Chet's Paint and Body, well, it's a great day to get out and fish. Southeast wind 5 to 15, but gusty of about 20 miles an hour as we look at this. Looks like we'll have a time to fish there about 9:30 today till about an hour's worth there till about 11 o'clock. Gives you something to go on for today. Now, that's a close look at what we've got. Pay close attention to this weather. I'm going to have updates all throughout the day, and we'll be on top of this for you tomorrow. We're here 24/7. When it threatens, we'll go live and let you know exactly what's happening. Y'all join us here in just a little while. We're getting ready for the morning show that kicks off at 8 o'clock, and more details on the weather. All of that's coming up. Thank you for joining me. It means a lot to see each and every one of you each day. I always share my posts so that others will know what's going on in our community. That's how it works there. Thank y'all so much, and we'll be back soon as we watch the sky above here at Scotty Ray's Weather. Thank y'all.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by our following partners: